Check.
Check 1, 2.
Check, check.
While you do that, while you continue on with all this, I'm going to get my glasses out real quick.
Alright.
Like I felt like I was missing something.
Alright, so transponder is set. Acknowledge this. Okay, flight instruments we're showing 0 airspeed, vertical speed 0, turn coordinator level.
You can turn these to day mode 1 second. There we go.
Okay. What is our, let's see.
132.55.
13255.
Temperature 28, dew point 26, altimeter 29er, 89er. Visual approach in use, landing departing runway 9er right, 9er left, runway 5. Approaches are being conducted to parallel and converging runways. Attention all aircraft, hazardous weather information for Florida and coastal waters available on flight service frequencies. Use caution for bird activity in the vicinity of the airport. NOTAMs. Runway 9 left Pappy's out of service. Runway 9 right ILS out of service. VFR departures, advise ground control your direction of flight. Advise initial contact, you have Bravo. Melbourne International Airport information, Bravo, time 2153 Zulu. Wind 150 at 4, visibility 10, sky conditions clear. Temperature 28, dew point 26, altimeter 29er, 89er. Visual approach in use, landing departing runway 9er right, 9er left, runway 5. Approaches are being conducted to parallel and converging runways. Attention all aircraft, hazardous weather information for Florida and coastal waters available on flight service frequencies. Use caution for bird activity in the vicinity of the airport. NOTAMs. Runway 9 left Pappy's out of service. Runway 9 right ILS out of service. VFR departures, advise ground control your direction of flight. Advise initial contact, you have Bravo. Melbourne International Airport information, Bravo, time 2153 Zulu. Wind 150 at 4, visibility 10, sky conditions clear. Temperature 28, dew point 26, altimeter 29er, 89er. Visual approach in use, landing departing runway 9er right, 9er left, runway 5.
What was the wind?
Are being conducted to parallel.
So winds, he said, were 150 and
150, okay, I got alright, 150, okay.
Use caution for bird activity in the vicinity of the airport. NOTAMs. Runway 9 left Pappy's out of service.
And I'll get this back to Mike 1. There we go.
Okay, so he said runway 9 left is in use, so I'm guessing that that's what they're going to give us?
Yes, sir. Well, 9 left and 9 right, they could give us either, but we're over here, so they'd logically give us 9 left, unless 9 left was closed for whatever reason.
Okay. And taxi probably via Mike and Kilo to 9
Mike Kilo,
left.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so we'll run over and do our run up here. I'm going to move my seat forward first.
Go back, runway 9 left, clear to touch and go.
Alright, that seems secure. Alright, taxi light on. And taxi area is clear left, clear front, clear left. Alright, parking brake is released.
There we go. I was waiting for that.
And we'll get back to 1200. Parking brake is set.
Yep.
Alright, doors are closed and latched.
Yes, sir.
Fuel selector on both. Elevator trim for takeoff. Alright, throttle. Alright, we're going to go 1800, toes on the brakes. Alright, we're going to test the fuel pump. Alright, an increase in fuel flow and fuel pressure, fuel pump back off. Okay, engine instruments check. Got fuel all in the green. Ammeter check, 14.5 volts, magneto drop. Alright, we're going to turn on, go to the right. Drop down to 1670, we're looking for no less than 1650. Back to both. And 1690, back to both. Alright, carb heat. Alright, we gotta drop down to 1690. Carb heat off. And back to 1800. Alright, prop cycle 3 times. First time I'm looking for a drop in manifold pressure.
Delta 31, proceed as requested.
Okay. And the second time, RPM. Okay. And oil pressure. Okay. Alright, then we'll check idle. Alright, the engine still runs at idle. Back to 1200.
First Flight 1, Melbourne Tower, departs from the hospital, pilot's own risk. Proceed direct to the tower and expect...
Cowl flaps open.
Field. There is traffic...
Alright, check our flight controls. Free and clear and correct. Right aileron up, left aileron down. Left aileron up and right is down. And our elevator down.
That traffic should be no factor for you now.
And up.
Cross all runways, land at the north ramp, pilot's own risk, wind calm.
And rudder. Right rudder. Left rudder. Okay, all appear correct.
Takeoff Quebec, roger. Runway 9 left, you're cleared to touch.
Alright, friction lock. We'll put a little set on that. Alright, avionics. We have all of our frequencies. Okay, so we have got Melbourne ground on the active, Melbourne tower. What is our practice area frequency?
123.3.
123.3.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that set. Alright, seatbelts are fastened. Alright, flaps. Trim set. Takeoff briefing. Runway in use. We're expecting probably 9 left, 6,000 feet. Calculated takeoff distance, I'm thinking, well, we haven't done the calculations, but so far it seems like we're off in less than 1,000 feet airborne.
Yep.
Climb out speed, so we're going to rotate at 60, climb out at 85. Okay, engine out, procedure and plan. If we have an engine failure before we rotate, we're going to stay on the runway, apply brakes, and exit the runway. If we have an engine failure once we rotate, but before we get to 700 feet, then we're going to go straight ahead.
Yep.
If we have an engine failure after we reach 700 feet, then we should be able to, we should have enough altitude that we can turn back either to runway 23 or 27. And in the event of an emergency, it will be your controls.
Yes, sir.
Alright, pitot heat as required. We don't need it. Cowl flaps open. Alright, parking brake release. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and taxi us up here where the tower can see us.
Yes, sir. Do you want to do the radio call again?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and try that.
Okay. We're going VFR departure southwest.
VFR to southwest, okay.
There is traffic in the pattern for 9 left, runway 9 or right.
I'll just adjust this.
There. Foxcroft, you can plan to exit at the end.
And if you want to rehearse it, go ahead. Don't worry.
Alright, okay, so let's see. Melbourne ground, Cardinal 34287 at Big Blue, VFR departure to the southwest with information Bravo.
Yep.
Alright. Melbourne ground, Cardinal 34287 at Big Blue, VFR departure to the southwest with information Bravo.
Cardinal 34287, Melbourne ground, runway 9 left via Mike Kilo.
9 left via Mike Kilo, Cardinal 34287.
Good, man. Good,
All right.
good.
Alright, we're clear on left. Alright, our wind was 150
150
at 4, and
you can
there's
always
the
just
wind
use
stock, so...
But just use the compass there. That's another wave, being able to determine it. So 150 is down over here, so
okay,
that's a quartering
so
tailwind.
we want to dive away from the wind.
Correct.
Okay. Get my feet off the brakes there.
Number 9 Golf Quebec, runway 9 or left, cleared touch and go.
Southern Grand is the first of the 9
so before takeoff,
departure, VFR with information Bravo.
alright, time record at,
runway 9 left via Mike Kilo.
what is our time here?
9 left via
6:10.
Mike Kilo, 479.
So, I changed it on here,
Oh, okay.
so we can change
That's
them
fine.
back.
Okay, so 6:10.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's see. Final approach area is not clear.
Oh, that guy's going to the other runway, so that's fine.
Okay, we got our landing light on. Transponder is set. And mode mixture. We're going to reach it slightly just before we take off.
All right, and we'll go flaps 10 as well.
Flaps
Bravo,
10.
Requesting permission to Embraer production.
Speed on 300, roger. Hold short, runway 9 or left.
Hold short, runway 9 or left, speed on 300.
All right.
All right, so we switch over to tower.
Yes, sir.
And then it's going to be Melbourne Tower, Cardinal 34287, holding short, 9 left at Kilo, ready for departure.
Yes.
Okay. Melbourne Tower, Cardinal 34287, holding short at 9 left at Kilo, ready for departure.
Cardinal 34287, Melbourne Tower, traffic turning base, runway 9 left, clear for takeoff, proceed on course.
9 left, cleared for takeoff. Cardinal 34287.
Yep.
Left at Sierra.
There we go. We're good to go.
Okay.
You left at Sierra to
Now, what was that about traffic on base? Are
Yeah, there's traffic turning base, but he's going to be no factor.
But
He's just kind of telling us, like, hey, just don't dawdle, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll try not to.
Oh, you're all right. After all, he cleared us, so.
Okay.
All right, so we're good.
All right, we're clear. Okay, get to the center of the runway. All right, We are lined up. All right.
Yep.
Power's coming in. All right. Power's in. Engine instruments are in the green. Airspeed is alive.
Yep. You're good.
58. There's 60. Rotate.
Just hold. There we go. Just lower the nose a little bit. Retrim as required.
Yeah. All right, and there's 80, 85.
Yep. 100 feet.
All right, 100 feet. Flaps are coming up. Oh, shoot.
There we go. Yeah, you have a pitch change with the flap, so
yeah,
that's what that was, yeah. But that's perfectly fine.
All right, airspeed back to 85.
Turn right on to runway 9 left, taxi down the runway, exit it.
All right, rudder.
Alright, we can go ahead and make a turn to the south here.
All right, turn to the south now.
Yep.
All right.
Upper turn up.
Good.
All right.
1,000 feet.
All right, 1,000 feet. We want to go 25 inches of manifold pressure.
Up there, 35 ground, proceed as requested.
And 2,500 RPM.
Phenom 300, exit the runway at Mike 1, and then Mike 1 Kilo Charlie to your ramp. I'm going to have traffic ready to go behind you. Or 4791 Echo Tower, did you call ready?
No, hey, firm, we saw the Phenom taxiing, we didn't want to bother you until they got up.
No problem, 91 Echo, I'll have you out in just a second. He's going to be exiting at Mike 1.
Roger that, 91 Echo.
Feels like it'll be a nice day, so we can bring it up all the way to 3,000.
Runway 9 left, clear touch and go.
Up to 3,000?
Runway 9 left, clear touch and go.
Okay.
9 well spec.
Alright, and I'd say at this point, we can go ahead and give a turn to the southwest there.
All right, turning to the southwest.
This thing is funny, it kind of just creeps out.
November 4791 Echo, traffic approaching base, runway 9 or left, clear for takeoff, proceed on course.
And left clear for takeoff, proceed on course for 791 Echo.
Nice, it's already 75 up here. Good takeoff.
Thanks. Getting there anyhow. There was a,
Yeah, but
keeping
that's
wings
normal.
level, keeping the right rudder. And,
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of the reason why the airplane wants to change direction as soon as you get off the ground is the wind. So it just wants to immediately point into the wind.
Okay.
If you don't, you're going to drift sideways.
Yeah.
So, but the aircraft's natural tendency is to want to do that.
Okay.
Because we're transitioning from the ground where we're set going, and as soon as you get weight off the wheels, it just wants to weather vane. And if it wants to weather vane, honestly, that's perfectly fine as well. Generally speaking, you should maintain the runway heading. So even if that means we're coming off of the actual center line of the runway, the reason why they do that is because all IFR flying is supposed to be by runway heading. So if one guy is maintaining the runway center line and this guy is drifting because he's maintaining heading, especially in places like with multiple runways that are parallel, you have reduced separation or even possible collision risk. So it's always a good idea to fly just the runway heading. So if it says 094 on the compass, we'll just fly 094 until we're clear of the runways.
Thank you.
But yeah. Turned out to be really nice. So much for forecasts. Alright, we're well out of the Delta now. We're above his airspace and now laterally out of it, so we'll just go practice area.
Mike, you up? 74 Mike. 53361 is practicing ground ref just south of the silos. Do you have us in sight?
Alright, so we're coming up on 3,000.
Yeah, but we're going to be looking out for you, 74 Mike. We're a little bit to the west of the trapezoid lake, kind of in this field over here doing S-turns. Alright, we're going to start heading south and we'll avoid you guys, 74 Mike.
Alright, we're going to reduce power to 21 inches, propeller 2300 RPM.
Alright, pretty good job. The goal will be plus or minus 100 feet in the altitude today.
Alright.
And then plus or minus, well, really for the slow flight, it should be minus 0, but we're not going to be flying too critically slow.
Alright.
So we're going to be looking for minus 5 plus 10.
Alright.
My controls
just
real
saw
quick.
somebody out there. Alright, your controls?
I see him. I see him now.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's no factor now. So we'll continue up this way.
Alright.
Yesterday, Sindor and I had a guy that flew that close but right over us while we were down at 800 feet doing ground reference.
Oh,
and then he made a radio call after he passed us where he was. So, oh well. Your controls again, you can get us down to 3,000 feet.
My controls.
And let's just go on a heading west.
Heading west.
Yep. There we go, 270. We'll bug that for you. And something that helps out with landing on the heading is whatever your bank angle is, take half of that, and that's how soon you should lead out the turn. So for example, if we're doing a 30-degree turn and we want to end up on a heading of west, start rolling out 15 degrees before 270. So what's that, 255?
Okay.
Yeah, that helps out a lot. So that's just an idea. Right, but it proves to be pretty true.
Okay.
So, now that we're up here, I'll make a radio call. Let's see, we are on comm 2. Yep. Up to what's practice area Cardinal 34287 is over the street pattern, 3,000 feet slow flight heading west. Okay, so would you like me to reintroduce or just do one quickly, enter and then exit and then hand it over to you, or do you want to?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do one?
Okay, so my controls.
Alright, your controls.
So we're trying to maintain 270 and 3,000 feet. So we're going to go ahead and apply carb heat. We'll go full on the prop. and then we'll just gently pull out the power to about 15 or so. And we're just going to hold 3,000 feet, 270.
At 900 feet, ground right.
Once we're in the white arc, we'll go flaps 10. Keep going flaps 20 and flaps 30. We start slowing up even more. And our goal is 60 to 65. So I started climbing. I'll just lower the nose a little bit. There we go. Retrim as you need. I see I'm descending even though I'm at 60 to 65, so I'll just add a little bit of power. That should slow down the descent. Right. Alright, so there we go. And then to recover, we go full power. Lower the nose. Take flaps 10 out. We start accelerating. Right, we're keeping coordination. Flaps 20. Flaps 30. Carbied out. And we'll let the plane accelerate for a second. And then we start bringing this out to 21. And then 23. Retrim as required. There we go. Alright, your controls again.
Alright, my controls.
Your controls.
361 is over Penn Island at 1,000, climbing up to 1,500 eastbound, southwest.
Delta West Praxair Cardinal 34287's just a beam Kurtzfield, 3,000 feet heading west. Slow flight. Alright.
Alright, slow flight. Alright, so we're going to do carb heat on, full prop, reduce power, and maintain altitude.
Yep.
Okay, we're in the white arc, so flaps 10, flaps 20, flaps 30, and we're approaching 60. Oh, we're descending, so I'm going to add some power. Oh.
There's that left turning tendency, but that's alright. So just apply power and apply left rudder as you do it. But don't pitch up too much because then you can get slower. So just gingerly coax it.
Alright, so I guess I need more power.
Yep.
And we're getting a little fast, so I'll pitch it up a little more. Alright, now we're climbing, okay.
Yep, so our power now controls our altitude if we maintain the same airspeed.
Alright, so now there's our altitude, so reduce power. Continue trying to pitch for 60.
Alright, pretty good, man.
Alright, I think.
Alright, so go ahead and just demonstrate a recovery.
Alright, so recovery, we're going to do carb heat off.
Yep.
We're going to add some power, right rudder, keep the nose down so it doesn't balloon up.
And if you have to take out some...
We're going to go ahead and take out some flaps. Alright, whoa. Take out all the flaps. Starting to climb there, okay. now we got to go throttle 2100 and 23 on the RPM. Fix our altitude. Add some trim.
There we go. So get us back down to 3,000 feet, and we'll do it to the east.
All right. All right.
Or, actually, we'll just make a 90-degree turn south and do it to the south.
Okay. All right. All right. Clear on the left.
Clear on the left. And I'll bug it for you.
All right. A little soon. All right.
Alpha traffic, 53 Tango, 1 mile to the south of Sebastian.
All right.
Over the shoreline.
All right.
2,200 emergency descent. Look out below. Alpha South.
All right, when you're ready, just go ahead and put me into slow flight again.
737 November.
All right.
Over
All right. Slow flight. We're gonna do carb heat on, full prop. Reduce power while pitching back to maintain altitude. I'm going to start adding flaps 10. I'm going to go do flaps 20. And flaps 30.
Yep, and then I would start adding a little bit of power back in, just to catch. Yeah.
Okay.
So you didn't start descending there, and you can still pitch for 65.
Right.
There we go.
All right, there's 65. I'm going to trim for 65, a little bit of right rudder. I think we're there. A little bit of power because I say we're descending just a little bit. All right.
Good.
And pitching for 65. 65 or 60?
65 is fine.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll go plus or minus 5 on the airspeed there.
Okay.
So you can go down to 60 up to 70.
Okay.
But 65 is the goal.
All right, we'll keep it at 65.
Yeah.
All right.
With this aircraft, we're not really in slow flight until about 60 anyway. Like true slow flight backside of the power curve.
Okay.
All right. So now that we're configured, I'll have you get us out of slow flight one more time and then go back into it, and then we'll start doing climbs and descents.
Okay, so exiting from slow flight, I'm going to turn carb heat off.
Yep.
Going to add some power. Keep the nose from ballooning up. Go ahead and start taking flaps out. Flaps 20. Flaps 10. And flap 0. Alright, we're approaching 100, power back to 21 and 2300 on the RPM.
Yep.
And that's taking a lot of pressure there. Almost got it there. Alright.
Very good, man.
Okay.
We really didn't come off of 180. We maintained
We're still
3,000
in
feet.
south, yeah.
Yep.
A little more right rudder, okay.
Yes, sir. So go ahead and put us into slow flight again.
Alright.
When you're ready, and we'll just keep going south.
Okay, so keep going south. I'm going to fix my altitude here real quick though. a little bouncy. Okay, entering slow flight. Carpet on, full prop, reduce power, and pitch to keep our altitude.
Yep.
We can go ahead and add flaps 10, flaps 20, flaps 30. Add a little more power, and we're coming up on 65 here.
Yep.
And
don't lose your altitude, so a little bit more power.
A little more power, okay.
Yeah, and then when you add power, if you have to pitch back a little bit.
Pitch back to maintain 65.
Yep.
Need more power to make it pause. There we go.
Good. All right. When you're ready, go ahead and give me a turn to the left on and stop on a heading of east, 090.
All right.
So 65, 3,000 feet to a heading of east.
All right, heading of east, and we're clear on the left. Alright, gotta pull out a little bit of power here. Alright. Alright.
Okay. Now, give me a 270-degree turn to the right to a heading of north.
To a heading of north, okay.
Ground reference.
Alright, clear on the right?
Clear on the right.
Clear on the right, okay.
Bingo.
Alright.
Alright, cool. Give me a turn to the east again here. You can do a right turn.
Okay.
Or left, your choice.
I'll do right. Get us there quicker.
Yeah. I was about to say, it depends on how long you want to torture yourself for with it.
Alright, our speed 65. Little.
There we go. And give me a climb to 3,500 feet on a heading of east.
Alright, at 65?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so climb. We climb without carb heat?
We can climb with carb heat, that's fine.
Alright, so to climb, I'm going to add power.
Yep.
And right rudder. Okay, I need to pitch up to get back to 65.
Yep, and watch our heading there.
Hotel East traffic, Center 9 Yankee Hotel is flying over radiation at 3,100 feet, climbing at 3,500 feet going southbound.
And we're going to get there someday, so. That's why I only made you go up 500 feet.
I see we do have an angle of attack indicator here, but
Yeah.
looks like
Oil temperature. Go ahead and reduce power a little bit. She gets hot. Yeah, here, we'll take carb heat off real quick. Yep. And let's see here, I'll richen this up slightly, see if that helps reduce. The EGTs and everything else are fine. Maybe because it's full of oil.
okay.
My controls for a second.
All right, your controls.
My controls. We're just going to let her come down here. Alright, just because I don't like that temperature, I'm going to bring us back towards Melbourne and just see what that does here.
Alright.
Alright, looks like it's starting to come down.
247, okay.
Hotel East Southwest traffic, track 77 November Victor, 4 miles west of Abandon, 1,500, heading back to Melbourne. Hotel East Southwest.
Yeah, it's coming down, 245.
There we go, that's better. Running her hard, I guess.
Guess it takes a lot to climb at 60 or 65.
Yeah. I know I just printed the emergency checklist, but I don't want to have to use it. Yeah, I haven't seen that before. Could be because of oil quantity. We'll just let it come down here. And it's funny, this thing will scream at you depending on how fast you're cooling the engine too. So if it gets above 50 degrees, you know, a descent to 50 degrees per minute, it'll flash for shock cooling. So we'll let her breathe for a second. Alright, I'm curious about something. I'll hold 2,500 here and see what it does in slow flight if I apply some power. I'll talk to Jason about that as well.
Yeah.
Alright, Alright, so pitching for 65. Okay, that seems fine. I just want to see what the temperature does in the climb here in slow flight. Now put us on a heading of north.
North and south traffic, tech flight 647 and beam Valkaria, mid-river, 3000 southbound, slow fly, any north, any south.
It's funny, I blew through my heading, but that's fine, I'll get back.
Oh, 379 Yankee South 2,500 feet over Barefoot Bay, headed south, so place.
Hotel Lisa to West Prague, Cardinal 34287's beam the street patterns, 2,800 feet climbing to 3,000 slow flight. Alright, that temperature went up 1 degree so far. Two degrees. .238.
239.
Because it didn't do that to us before. We would have seen it for sure. There's 240. I don't know what temperature the flag comes up on.
Cherokee 3023 Tango, we are 7 miles northwest. We're going to join the 45-degree angle for the left downwind of runway 10 today. Freak. South traffic, tech flight 647, 3,200 southbound, beam Valkaria, slow fly, the south traffic.
Alright, so I'll just call it good here at this altitude. We'll just do this for now. So your controls again, I'll just be watching the temperature.
Alright, my controls.
Your controls.
Oh,
yeah,
there it
goes again. Okay, well, just simulate a descent. Go ahead and put carb heat.
Alright.
Yeah, and then you can pull power to idle.
Carb heat.
And then give us a descent at 65 to, and we'll go 2,000 feet. And we'll keep it on a heading of west, 270. Valve flaps are open. There's 3,000.
Alright, so level out at 3,000?
Nope, keep it coming up
keep
to
it going.
2,000,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright, okay.
Hotel West Practice Air Cardinal 34287 is 2,800 feet descending to 2,000 over Kurtz Field, slow flight. So 246 looks like it's when that flag goes off there. And once we get to 2,000 feet, we'll go ahead and level off, not exit slow flight, but just bring the power back to maintain 65 miles an hour and 2,000 feet.
Okay.
On a heading of west.
Delta North traffic, pick up by 662 over the Big Canal, 3,500, 280 on the heading, and we're going to be doing slow flight. Delta North.
South traffic, Texas 623. Mid-river beam radiation, 2,000 feet, climbing 2,500 hood, southbound, over the shoreline, getting it up.
The oil pressure isn't dropping, so that's a good thing.
India South traffic, tech flight 647 between Barefoot Bay and Valkaria, heading northbound off the coast, tech flight 647.
And then once we get to 2,000 feet, we'll level off and you can give me a turn back towards the east.
Okay. Alright, coming up on 2,000.
Bravo traffic 96 Papa Alpha, over Lake Point set at 1,500 feet, heading north.
And then give me a left turn.
Alright, left turn. We're clear on the left.
Hotel East Practice Area 24 Delta is 1 mile to the west of Valkaria, southbound 3,100 feet, slow flight. North India South traffic, tech flight 647, beam Valkaria, aviation shoreline, northbound 3,000, stalls.
Alright. So go ahead and recover from slow flight.
Alright, carb heat off. Increase power.
Alright,
flaps are coming out.
River, 2,100. Okay, my gun 2,000 feet, we're heading southbound.
Flaps 10. Flap 0. And 2,100, or 21 inches and 2,300 RPM. Back to heading out east.
There we go.
And a little bit higher on the altitude.
will give the engine a little time to cool. It probably from slow flight you don't have a lot of air moving over the engines. High power setting, high temperature. The temperature already come down 5 degrees since we recovered.
Okay. Now, does the cowl flaps open? Does that help cool the engine?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're always open.
Okay.
Yeah. There's very few times that you'll actually fly with cowl flaps closed.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. Give me a coordinated turn to heading of 150. Maintain 2,000 feet.
All right. Heading 150.
Clear to the right.
Clear to the right. But heading 150, right?
Yeah, it was 150. That's okay. I knew you were going to go to 180. I'm like, good, this is really nice, and he's rolling out nicely. That's okay. All right, here. So, do you have your emergency checklist with you? I have mine.
You know, I think I might have left it in my folder.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
So, we will, in this case then, I'll give, I don't know if I want to give a demonstration on the checklist just because we should really be using the checklist for the demonstration.
Okay.
Go ahead and bring us up to 3,000 feet. So 2300 RPM first and then 25 inches of manifold. So prop increase to 25.
25?
Yeah,
okay.
25.
We're heading back southbound, 3,500.
Yep.
North traffic.
A little too much, bring it in, yeah. I know, it's very sensitive.
Yeah.
So, I guess I can introduce steep turns, which is part of the performance maneuvers. So, just until this engine cools down, I don't want to bring it up to temperature all the time. So maneuvering speed in this airplane VA is about 117 miles an hour. We're okay at 100 because we're light. We're going to have a much higher stall speed anyway, but I don't want to push it. So, and we can actually calculate this out. There's an equation for it, but we won't do that in flight. Okay. But we're just going to use 100 miles an hour as our maneuvering speed.
Okay.
There's a reverse traffic, Kepler 623 over 95, we're heading westbound 2,000 feet, straight and level flight, returning to reverse traffic.
There we go. Cool. Alright. My controls.
Okay, your controls.
My controls. So I'll configure us for a power setting that should get us about 100 miles an hour. So Idea is to find the power setting first. Right, if we don't change altitude, our speed shouldn't change. So right about here, that's fine. So the goal with this is plus or minus 10 miles an hour and plus or minus 100 feet. So steep turns, it exercises your coordination and also putting back pressure.
Okay.
So the private pilot standard for this is 45 degrees of bank. So 45 degrees of bank, you have 30. This is 60, so 45 is just in between these two tick marks here.
Okay.
In between the triangle and the 30-degree mark.
East of Penn Island, headed southbound 3,500.
So, here we go. And we'll bug our heading for whatever we find out here, so this is a good reference. You can do it to the bug, or you can do it to a reference. It's easier if you do it to a reference. Alright, so I'll make a radio call. Delta Westback Sierra Cardinal 34287 is 3,000 feet over the flooded farm fields heading east, steep turns. Alright, so there's no one around us. There's a guy, oh, he's 4 miles away though, so he's fine. So here we go. We're going to do one to the left first, so raise left wing, look left, clear left.
Okay.
Going to go ahead. We're going to go, as soon as we get to about 30 degrees of bank, we're going to bump the power a little bit. And we're going to maintain our altitude, so if the altitude starts climbing like it was there, we're just going to lower the nose a little bit. Right? And we're looking at our cowling. If our cowling doesn't change, so our altitude is starting to decrease, just a bit of back pressure. Still 45 degrees. And we sped up a little bit there. It was probably a little bit too much power I added in. Alright, and we're just keeping this turn coming around. I see the yellow going, but that's because of a difference in temperature, so that's fine.
2,200, climbing 2,500, heading southbound,
shallow out of the bank there, so here we go. So then we come over here, and then the idea is you immediately go into another turn. You have to push down on the nose because you start ballooning because of all the power you have and all the lift you gain back. So get back to 45 degrees, and you'll experience something called the overbanking tendency. So the overbanking tendency, the airplane wants to steepen up the bank beyond what you have rolled into, because now we're in a point where this wing is producing a lot more lift than the inside wing, so it wants to continue the bank over. So 3,000 feet, still at 45 degrees, just staying coordinated, right, and we're looking outside. And as we come over, so that was our own wake, and reduce the power again to 21 inches, or whatever the beginning power setting was. And we should be close to the airspeed that we started, and we should maintain our altitude. So I'd say 110 is a comfortable speed, 100 is a little slow. Okay. Let's see here. That's fine. This rudder trim is always a little bit funny. So I'll do another one real quick. So race, wing, look over. This is our reference here. We go into a turn, a little bit of power increase, and maintain 3,000 feet. Once we get to 45, look outside and just watch your cowling. Right. So if our nose starts going above the cowling, or if the horizon starts climbing above the cowling, we know that we're climbing. We can see if we're steepening up our bank or not. So it's largely a visual maneuver, and I'm just trying to keep my head as still as possible when looking outside. That helps. Alright, here we are coming up on our reference. Opposite control pressures.
662 over Fellsmere, heading north.
And the quicker you do the turn to the opposite direction, the less chance the airplane has to balloon. I'm going to reduce the power a little bit. There we go. That's better. 45 degrees.
South traffic, tech plate 647.
And the sight picture changes when you're on the high side versus the low side. Yeah.
3,500 doing...
So usually it's easier when you're on the low side.
Yellow Seneca over Lake Point, southern maneuver.
That traffic is us. It's ghosting our own traffic.
Wow.
Common thing with ADS-B. Alright, and then we end up on our reference again. And then reduce the power, lower the nose so we don't balloon and don't gain airspeed. Back to 21 inches. So we might want to try it at a full engine RPM setting. Just because I don't want to overstress the prop. When you add it, if you go manifold pressure over the RPM pressure, that's a lot of work the prop is doing there.
Okay.
So I'll just configure us for high RPM or higher RPM. I'll say 25 is probably a good one.
Okay.
And this should give us about the same power output anyway, so we shouldn't change in airspeed. So your controls if you want to give it a try.
Alright, my controls.
Out to West Prax Air Cardinal 34287's over the flooded farm fields, 3,000 feet steep turns. Alright, so this is our reference. We're supposed to end up each time over here before we start the turn in the next direction.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, we're clear on the left. Alright, so rolling into a turn.
Yep. Smoothly. There we go, stay coordinated, a little bit more bank.
A little bit of power?
Just a little bit of power, that's good right there. Alright, a little bit more bank to get us over to 45.
East practice area, Skyhawk 19.
A little more bank. There we go, that's 45 right there.
There's 45, okay.
Yep.
We're heading southbound right now.
And just looking outside. So you see the nose is starting to come up a little bit.
On the west.
You can relax the back pressure.
Alright.
Try to run a point at 900 feet. Okay, we won't crash into you, I promise. Thank you so much.
Great.
Good.
Bravo traffic, Yellow Seneca, 3 miles southwest of Lake Point.
Alright, here comes our reference. So roll out, opposite control pressure, opposite rudder, opposite aileron.
Alright.
Yeah, right into a 45-degree bank the other way. There we go, good.
Bravo practice area, Skyhawk 10632, about a mile west of Lake Point.
So it's about being quick and being smooth with that transition, but that was pretty good.
662 over the man-made lake's going to be doing a power on stall 3,300 heading south, Charlie South.
Alright, and then opposite control pressures, roll out here, push the nose forward, and reduce the power back to 19. There we go. And that was our wake.
Okay. Nice.
There we go. So that means you did good. We maintained the same altitude. Yep. And then you can bring it back to 20 inches and then 2,300. And I say 20 because you'll overshoot when you decrease the RPM.
Alright.
There we go. Good. Right there.
Alright.
Cool. Alright, there's a guy 800 feet below us, so let's do a 180-degree turn to the west.
To the west. To the right?
Behind us. Yep, sure, that's fine, yeah. That's fine, yeah.
Well, he's going that way. So should we go this way or that way?
We should go around with him, so his direction as well. It gives us more space.
Okay, 180-degree turn here. 45-degree bank?
If you wanted to. Depends on how quickly you want to get away. Go to West Prax Air Cardinal 34287's over the street pattern, 3,000 feet, we're turning to the west. Those guys turned away, they're no factor now. Alright, so those were really nice steep turns there. We can do them again in this direction, we'll just give these guys a bit more space.
Okay, alright.
I'm glad to see our engine oil temps coming down.
traffic, Yellow Seneca, 3 miles northwest of Lake Poinsett, 2,000 feet, track Indiana 11, last quarter mile.
Alright, so they're far enough away. And I'll say that we're over the flooded farm fields.
South traffic, tech flight 647 over Sebastian Inlet, 3,500, simulated emergency descent, down to 2,500, look out below, and use up.
Delta West Vector, Cardinal 34287 is 3,000 feet over the flooded farm fields, steep turns. Alright, so we can go 2,500 RPM on the prop. Yep, and then that's a good speed right there. So go ahead and give us a turn, left or right, whichever direction you want to do first, and we'll just use the lake out there as our reference.
Alright, the lake out there is the reference. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do left first. Clear on the left?
Clear on the left.
Alright, and rolling into 45-degree bank. Back pressure.
Just a tiny bit of power. There we go. That's probably good right there.
Hotel East traffic, Skyhawk 1947 Foxtrot, 3,000 feet over Penn Island, emergency descent.
A little bit more bank.
There we go, perfect. A little bit less left rudder. There we go. And bring it back to 45. We're at 30 right now. A little bit more.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Yep, that's 45.
Alright. And it looks like we're going to be descending.
There we go. Yep, good job.
A little hard to see the horizon here, but...
Middle 934, just by what we can see here.
Alright, see we're climbing. Alright,
here comes our reference.
This is our lake.
So opposite direction, both rudder and aileron.
Go on dual for a couple minutes.
Roger that.
Yeah, from where we could see it seems
And is that our lake, man?
Yep, that's our lake.
Alrighty, okay.
I don't know if that's gonna
Power back to 20. There we go. And you can bring it back to 2,300 RPM.
3,000 feet per head rate, southbound 1
Cool.
Alright.
South traffic, Hotel West traffic, tech flight 647 on the southern portion
Alright.
of the bay, 2,000.
And it's funny, the commercial maneuvers actually go up to 50 degrees.
Okay.
So the 50-degree one, plus or minus 10, you can go all the way up to 60, so you really feel the push into the chair.
Yeah.
So that's the steep turns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the right turn going to the right is definitely more difficult.
Yeah.
On the left turn, I can see the horizon hit the cowling right here, but on the right turn, it's like out there somewhere.
Yeah. So my controls real quick,
Alright, your
and I'll
controls.
demonstrate something
Okay.
with the steep turns as well. So we'll go back to 2,500 RPM. Alright, 3,000 feet. And we'll go smoothly. Let me raise left wing clear.
Okay.
And we're just going to apply coordinated control pressure. Okay, here we go, 45 degrees. A little bit of power. Oh, that's 60 degrees. See, that's the overbanking tendency.
Okay.
The plane wants to go right over into it. So we're just looking outside. As long as nothing changes, we really shouldn't be changing either. And I'll demonstrate what happens with the overbanking tendency, right? So let's say you get away from it.
Okay.
And I'm just holding the same control pressure, but look, we're already at 60 degrees.
Okay.
And we'll start to descend unless I apply more back pressure. But if you see that you're starting to descend, you can shallow out the turn just a little bit. And that helps because it brings back some of the horizontal component of lift.
Okay.
Right, here's our lake, but I'm going to just keep going around in the turn. So you have plus or minus 10. You can go down to 35, but, you know, the closer you stay to 45 the whole time, the easier the maneuver will be. Another thing, too, is as far as your airspeed goes, It kind of takes some fine adjustments to find a power setting that doesn't cause you to balloon up, because it's plus or minus 10 knots, but in this case, 10 miles an hour.
Okay.
So you really want to take a look at that. And we're going to do some adjustments with this and then figure out what's the desired power setting. And then I'll make a checklist on it so that you have it every time we do this here. So really, you're also a pioneer, because I don't know of anyone that really does primary flight training in this kind of airplane.
Yeah.
So if you want, you can go ahead, and I'll give you the controls here. So once we get back around to the lake again, the opposite control pressures and reduce back to 2300 RPM. There's our wake. And descended almost 100 feet, so I'll get us back up here. So what I want you to do is, direction of your choosing, go ahead and put us in a steep turn, and you can keep 3,000 feet, and we're going to try and aim for 110 plus or minus 10.
Okay.
So up to 120, down to 100, yeah. Alright, so your controls when you're ready.
My controls.
Your controls.
Alright. Ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
So remember, 2,500 on the RPM first.
Okay, 2,500 on the propeller RPM.
Yep.
Like it really shot to 26?
There we go.
There it's back. Okay.
So if it's 2480, that's fine, that's close enough.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, I'm going to do it to the left.
Yes, sir.
And we are clear on the left. Okay, and rolling into a 45-degree bank.
Alright, a little less left rudder. There we go. The hardest part of the maneuver is the entry. Once you're in and you're stable, it's easy. Alright, use those references there and just watch that cowling. So you can, I can see you're kind of pumping the yoke. So look at what 45 degrees is.
Yeah.
And then look outside and just get a sight picture, right? And just try and keep that continuous sight picture. There we go.
Yeah.
Now you're
okay.
amazing.
Hold it just like that. Okay.
Yep. Alright, we're descending a little bit. There we go.
Okay.
And we'll just keep the turn going. Don't worry about the reference for right now.
Okay. And there's our wake.
Yep. Alright, watch that bank angle. There we go. We can go around one more time if you want.
Alright.
I don't get airsick, so. Did this with my wife once and she wasn't a very happy camper.
Alright.
Yeah. Alright, so I see our airspeed bled off a little bit. I wouldn't really increase the power, I would just watch what our altitude's doing. Because if our altitude changes, that means we're either climbing or descending, and when we climb for a given power setting, we're going to slow down.
Okay.
So we can practice this as long as you want, and then just once we get the altitude part buttoned down, everything else mechanically stays the same. Good. Alright, watch that bank angle, that's why we're ballooning up there. There we go. we can straighten out here on the lake again, and then just go ahead and put me one right into one to the right there.
Alright, one to the right.
I'll just do a couple to the right.
Okay.
So immediately over bank right to 60 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's that reference that changes.
And there goes our altitude. Keep going or roll out?
Yeah, you can keep us going and then roll out on the heading of east there.
Okay.
We'll go opposite direction. There's 60 degrees. Yeah.
Hotel West traffic, tech flight 880, at the south end of, or the north end of these.
Yep, opposite control pressures, reduce power, and then get it back to 2123.
Flying southbound, tech flight 880.
West traffic, tech flight 623 with just north of jet ski lake, 1,500.
Alright, and let's see, 79 Yankee Hotel, I don't know where those guys are, but go ahead and give us a slight turn to the south. There we go.
So this down here to the overneath the runway, it looks like it's producing some rain.
So one thing that's really fun is eventually, I mean, if you want to get up to the level of commercial pilot, if not, that's cool, but there's a really fun maneuver I like to call, or that they call lazy eights.
Okay.
So lazy eight's pretty fun. They're a performance maneuver, but we can demonstrate that another day. It's not required for private pilot, but it demonstrates a lot of control at different airspeeds and different altitudes. Basically, you're doing like a figure eight in the air, going back down 108 degrees the opposite direction, and then coming up.
Oh, so figure eight while you're climbing and descending?
Yep.
Okay, interesting.
So it's pretty fun. Let's see here. We're doing good on time. It's not like there's anyone after us. Want to try slow flight again now that the engine's cooled down?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So let's go on a heading of south.
Okay.
It's all bug south.
Probably around 2,500.
There we go. So 3,000 feet, just go ahead and put us into slow flight.
To be stationary for now. That's how they've appeared while we were doing the pattern. So I think they should be staying there, but again, I'm monitoring the next rad and the movement as well as I can see.
It's almost 3,000. There's alright, get us to 3,000 and back on south. Okay.
There we go. Yep.
Okay, so slow flight. Carb heat on. Prop full. Reduce power and maintain altitude.
Yep. Watch your head in there as well.
And 10 degrees of flex. 20. 30. Add a little more power.
Charlie South, tech flight 80, over the Square Lake 4,000.
Looking for 65 degrees.
Southbound shortly, slow flight.
A little bit of power because our altitude.
Delta West Practice Air Cardinal 34287, over the Florida Farm Fields, 3,000 feet, heading south, slow flight.
some altitude. We're going to come down just a little bit here and keep our speed at 65.
Alright. Because this engine won't cooperate too much, give me a climb on heading us south to 3,200 feet.
3,200 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so to climb, we want to add power. A little bit of right rudder.
Alright, bring that nose back.
Bring that nose to keep
Maintain
65.
65. There we go. Alright, 3,200 feet.
3,200.
Let's reduce a little bit. There we go.
Power to reduce the climb.
Once you're set there, give me a turn to the left on a heading of 140. I already bugged it for you.
140, okay.
Or 145, 140. There we go. And 65. And with slow flight, you don't have to bank so steeply because your rate of turn increases because we're going slower.
Okay.
So, you know, 30 degrees is pretty excessive. I mean, we can do that. It's much harder to maintain altitude in slow flight at steeper bank angles. So now that we're going this way, go ahead and give me a descent down to 2,500. West Praxair Cardinal 34287 is over the floated farm field, 3,200 feet, descending to 2,500 feet, heading southeast. So it cooperated with us enough to climb 200 feet, and it'll be happy to descend. So working with what we have. And once we get to 2,500 feet, we have a couple of things. We can either call it good, or we can go to Valkaria real quick and do a couple of takeoffs and landings.
Okay, that sounds good.
Alright, let's see here. Where is... okay, I see Valkaria up over there. Put us on a heading of 090 in this descent. There we go.
Charlie, South traffic, take flight 80 at 4,500 over Blue Cypress Lake, flying southeastbound. Charlie, South.
Alright, once we get to 2,500, go ahead and level off, and then once we've leveled off, recover.
Alright.
I'll get our strobes on so people see us too. Alright, pretty good. Go ahead and recover.
Alright, carb heat off. Add some power. Flaps are coming out, flaps 20. Flaps 10. 21 inches, 2300 RPM. And we need to fix our altitude.
And I'll get Valkaria up here. I have 5090 echo in sight, no factor. So we'll get their weather.
Flight 773 at 5,500, performing accelerated stalls, and then steep turns. India South.
Let's see, 19525, there we go.
0 at 03, visibility 9er, sky condition clear, temperature 28, dew point 28, altimeter 29er 88, remarks, density altitude 159er 0.
Transient tie-downs park on the blacktop ramp area immediately east of the terminal building. Do not park on the flight line.
See what the winds were.
Valkaria Airport, automated weather observation, 2327, Zulu, wind 140 at 03, visibility 8, sky condition.
Alright, that's good enough.
Temperature 2.
Delta Westpac Sierra Cardinal 34287 is just above Penn Island, 2,500 feet flying east, going to Valkaria. Hotel West.